Welcome to the Getting Past Know How to Effectively Handle a Resistance presentation. This presentation is for members who are new to Young Living and are motivated to start a multi-level marketing business, and also to strengthen their ability to handle objection and continue to sale into the sale conversation. You should also have a PDF file with this called Getting Past No Handling the Resistance, Effectively Handling the Resistance. If you have not have it already, please call or get in touch with the person that has invited you to view this presentation, or you can send an email to the address on the slide and I will send it to you. What you can expect from this presentation is, first of all, understanding the objections are great for your business. You are also going to learn to welcome objections, learn when the best time is to handle an objection, learn to recognize the true objection, feel comfortable handling objections. In a nutshell, the presentation should help you understand why objections are normal in a sales interaction and how to feel comfortable handling them. First of all, we need to know what is an objection. Like likely answers could be like no or not interested. It's when someone doesn't want your product. It's how we raise concerns about the product. It's sometimes we say to make a salesperson go away, plain and simple. So what we need to do is to probe a little bit more to know what is the objection. Like recall a time when you were making a large purchase like a car. You had objections. Did you had objection, you had concerns, you also had questions. So it's normal to have concerns or questions about anything we do know about. How to handle an objection. When someone tells you no, what does this mean? It's not rejection, it's feedback. What is feedback telling you? Do they have enough information to make a decision? Do they understand the value of the product? Do they need to talk with someone else about it? Do they believe in the product? Do they trust you or me? This is a critical piece, understanding that no does not mean no forever. It's likely a signal for more information. If the objection is about whether people trust you, then you'll need to reflect on your approach with your prospect. Most of the reason for the resistance you will face will be based on the depth of the information you provide. Think of some of the times you have put up a block to a salesperson. Why did you do it? How did they handle the objection? Did you eventually purchase from them? Think of an example where you did purchase from someone after you had put on an objection. What did they do to help you make to purchase? Like what did they do to help you to make the purchase decision? Resistance is a natural response to anything new. We should welcome objections because they can be a signal of interest. Why should we welcome objection? How does it help you to progress in the conversation? Remember, objections are feedback. Feedback is neither good or bad, it's just feedback. It tells you that they are thinking about the products or the company. It signals that we are still talking, and it signals that what we need to keep talking about. The objection guides your conversation and indicates what is important to the other person. If you get an objection like, I'm not sure the science behind essential oils is valid, it tells you that you will need to provide more technical information. An objection like, I don't think I could ever sell products to my friends, tells you the person may lack personal confidence or may have no experience in sales or customer service and may need some information or reassurance. These are two different kinds of objection, and they should be triggers for you as you spend time with your prospect to put more emphasis on their areas of interest or concern. What about respond like, nah, not interested, thanks, or it's not for me? Make a statement like, that's fair enough, or I can appreciate that. Then gently ask, I'm interested to know your thoughts behind that. Don't let it stop the conversation. Stay interested in what's happening for them. If you are getting a lot of brush off response, you may want to revisit how you present your ideas, products. You may not be creating enough interest in what or how you present it. We'll go into this in a little more detail. When do you think is the best time to answer an objection? Well, likely immediately after it's been raised. Do you think there are objections or concerns that are pretty common? Let's look into this. There are three times you can deal with objection: before they arise, when they arise, and never. Before they arise is best because you own the objection because you say it before they did. They don't have any stated opinion to defend. When it arises is the next best time and should be reserved for unusual or unexpected objection. All normal objections should be raised by you before your prospect has a chance to say them. The third way is never, and this is from a poor salesperson handling an objection. If you don't talk to an objection and overcome it, then it will remain between you and the sale. The best way to prepare for objection is to pre-think through the most common objection and have ready answers for them. To the prepared individual has courage. What are the common objections to being involved with a network marketing business? What are the common objections to essential oils products? What are the common objections to young living? A few common objections here are, first of all, they might tell you, wow, those oils are very expensive. Well, the best response would be, I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but when I started using them, I realized I was actually saving money. Because of their high quality and purity, a little goes a long way. Now, feel good. Now I feel good spending the money on my family's health and wellness and their superior products. They might also tell you, they don't work, that's snake oil. You know, I heard that often. I felt the same way in the beginning. But then when I started learning more about them and the scientific backing, it really got me interested. After considering that they're successfully been used for thousands of years, I decided I could give them a try. And you know what? They really work. Or they might tell you, this is a pyramid scheme. Yes, I know it can be a little concerning. I was also confused as to whether this was for real. I did a lot of research on multi-level marketing and pyramid schemes and now understand the difference. Pyramid schemes don't have real products to sell and don't have real customer and are just a way of transferring money from one person up the chain. Multi-level marketing is a legitimate channel of distributor and personally and fulfilling way of doing business. I'm so passionate to help others find wellness, purpose, and abundance. So that might be, a couple of answers you could give. Unfortunately, the first objection you hear is only the real objection about half the time. Answering the first objection may not answer the true objection. This is because often the first objection we give is the easy one to give. It takes less thought and is easy to respond with. For example, it's too expensive, as an objection may have a salesperson responding about the price and start offering price reductions. Good salespeople know that price is probably not the real issue. Not understanding the value is often the real issue. Sometimes the real objection has nothing to do with the first objection raised. Clarity that it is the real objection. Clarify that. In other words, if it weren't for objection, you'd be happy to get involved. Have you ever been in a store looking for something specific in response to the eager sales associate with just browsing thanks? It's very common to shrug off a salesperson, but that doesn't help move the conversation forward. Even after you've heard some objection, it's important to find out if there are any more concerns. So ask for objections, like, what are your thoughts on this? Do you have any concerns? What other questions do you have? Please help me understand why that's important to you. Not answering all objection is the main reason a sale doesn't move forward. So ask for them and find out if you have heard them all. Even after you've heard some objection, it's important to find out if there are any more concerns. Sometimes you'll hear very unusual or specific objection. You may actually question the validity of that fact. Be honest. Just tell them, I haven't heard that before. Respond with what you do know and ask them to check their reference and send it to you. Don't worry about unusual objection. Every day we are exposed to so much information and often we remember and retell that information. It can't be distorted or modified. As a result, you may hear someone make an unusual statement. Like, for example, a person can tell you, I heard that someone died before they ate, because they ate lavender oil. Well, I guess these oils aren't that safe. So you can interact and say, oh, I never heard that. Can I ask where you heard that story? I'd be interested to read up about it. And then that person can tell you that he can't remember where they heard it. Then you can interact again and say, well, what I do know about essential oil is, and just provide your information. I also know that it is used all over the world and give some more information. If you do find the source of that story, I'd love if it would could you could send it to me and send it to my way. I've always looking for more information. So like that, at least you get the concern and you can work with it. So what is important is that you get the objection and then you can follow through. If you hear any concern or objection, it is critical to acknowledge them. You can say something like, I'm glad you asked that question. Or you could say, I can see that you're thinking about the products. Or I'm hearing that you're concerned with, and go with whatever they were concerned with. Acknowledging a concern simply tells the other person, I hear you. It also says you care about them and are interested to hear them. Acknowledgements are neutral statements that don't express any opinion or bias and don't answer the objection. The answer comes afterwards. If you hear any concern or objection, it is critical to acknowledge them. What are other ways to acknowledge a concern? The only way to effectively respond to an objection is with information. Tell stories giving example to further illustrate the benefits of the product. Brainstorm some different stories that you can tell. Use the product to demonstrate your point. To overcome an objection around the cost of Young Living essential oils, compare to another well-known brand. You could compare the difference in quality and concentration. Provide two peppermint oils, one from Young Living and one from another manufacturer, and compare them side by side. Leave samples with them so that they can try the product for themselves. Quote facts that you know about Young Living or usage for essential oils and the other products. Give them time to digest and come back to you. We don't all make decisions quickly, and it's unreasonable to expect everyone to become a customer on the first exposure. Set the scheduled time to get back to them so they expect it. It is okay if I give you a call next Tuesday. Always follow up. That's the importance. On average, how many times does someone need to be presented with an idea or product before they want it? Once? Twice? Three times? Actually, a lot more. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and give up. 12% of salespeople only make three contacts and give up. Only 10% of salespeople make more than three contacts. 80% of sales are made on the fifth or 12th contact. So these are general sales statistics. They relate to all kinds of selling that involves sales representative, which include network marketing and direct selling. You can differentiate yourself by following up and following up often. That's the key. Of course, it's going to take some time. You can't expect to turn a prospect into a customer on the first conversation. Follow up with your prospect. Note down some ideas on the worksheet regarding follow ups with your prospect. You're farming, not hunting. Understand that following up is the most critical habit of successful salespeople. Without regular follow up, it is quite likely that your prospect will lose their enthusiasm and will stop thinking about opportunity to use the products. Brainstorm ideas to give you reason to follow up with that prospect. You might want to review a tool with them like a website, an online video, a brochure, magazine, DVD. Attend an event like a beauty school or rally, or someone of your upline is hosting, like one-on-one conversation or a small group presentation at someone's home, an online webinar, etc. Anything. Follow up after you've given your prospect a sample. Ask questions like how did you enjoy the sample? Where did you try it, using it? Give them a few tips on how to use it. Following up is not a pressure selling, it's a courtesy. Often, when you try or experience something new, you have feedback or questions. Following up is providing that service to ensure your prospect needs are met. It's an, it's an opportunity to continue to build the relationship. Following up does not make you a sleazy salesperson. Think of something of your own personal experience where someone has followed up with you. What are the reasons to follow up? They could be related to Young Living or not. Just try one. And of all things to do, stay positive. Don't set yourself up to things you'll always sell on your first conversation. For some, this is just not the right offer at the right time. Understand to anticipate objection and rejection. It's all part of the journey. Selling is a numbers game. In an average, you expect to convert 1 in 4 prospects to customers. Just think that every time you fail to close a sale, you are one prospect closer to making the next sale. Be genuine and build trust. Trust is critical to create sales. One of the foundations of buyer's trust is whether you are acting in the prospect's best interest. Become genuinely interested in your prospect. Ask questions. Be transparent. In summary, embrace objections and concerns. They are your friends. Include known potential objections when you share. Ask questions to raise objections. Acknowledge that you hear the objection. Answer the objection with facts and information. Again, ask questions to raise further objection. And of course, what is very, very important in this business, and I cannot emphasize that enough, is to follow up, follow up, follow up. This is the critical part of your business. Again, I thank you to joining us in this presentation. If you might have any questions, please don't hesitate in calling the person that has invited you to come and view this presentation, or you can send your concerned questions at the email address on the slide. Have a very nice day.